Give me a name. We'll do things quiet. No one will know you were involved.
I can't do that.
You don't seem to grasp how serious this is. If I don't put someone behind bars tonight, the next time I come down here, I'll have an army of enforcers with me. We both know how that'll go.
I'm sorry, Grayson, but I can't offer up my own people.
If you change your mind, this will reach me. And only me.
It's not easy to be a leader, to be someone that people look to for guidance in moments of crises. It's a role that comes with certain advantages as well as its burdens. Arcane League of Legends explores leadership in a way that we haven't really seen before. It talks about the sudden guilt that can follow a certain realization, and it does so through the character of Vander, the Hound of the Undercity, a man who was once revered and respected by his people, now looked upon as weak. But what exactly did he do to deserve their disdain? Well, the answer is simple. He chose to care about their safety above any cause. The moment that sparks this choice can be found in the early openings of the show, and it's revealed to us with no dialogue at all. When we are first introduced to Vander's character, he's beating the lights out of an enforcer, and from the looks of things, we understand that a war has taken place. But what we learn later in the show is that Vander is the one who led this war against the people of Piltover, and as the flames of war come to a halt, he's approached by Violet and Powder. With fear and concern in their eyes, they ask him for the whereabouts of their parents. Vander responds by showing them a pile of bodies on the bridge, and the girls, seeing their dead parents, immediately burst into tears. It's at this moment Vander realizes that he alone had led their parents to their death, and he did so on the promise of change and the hope that things could be different for the people of the Undercity if they were willing to fight for it. The thing that Vander failed to see is that when you're a leader, people believe in you, and so they share in your cause, so much so that they fight for it, and sometimes they die for it. Vander feels personally responsible for not only the death of their parents, but also for the well-being of the children who are now left behind. It's this realization of murder that manifests Vander's guilt, and more importantly, it's this moment that sparks his desire to be a different kind of leader. He adopts the belief that no cause is worth endangering the lives of the people he cares about. If this amount of bloodshed is not enough to bring about the change they so desperately desire, then what amount is? Violet's parents believed in Vander's cause so much that they defended it with their lives. He never stopped to think about the price of fighting for a cause that high. This singular experience shapes Vander's perspective on the ongoing conflict between Piltover and the Undercity. It forces him to think differently on how he may be able to achieve a better world for the Undercity without endangering the lives of its people. But when he sees Violet's desire for change and her willingness to fight for it, he's reminded of himself and how those very same feelings led to the death of her parents and many more. He wants Violet to understand that many of the kids in the Undercity look up to her, and for that reason many of them would follow her to the ends of the earth. But when you live in a world where the base violence necessary for change will cost you the lives of the people you care about, it becomes important to not be selfish with your choices, to think carefully about them. It becomes important to not be reckless and to construct plans that do not put the lives of others at jeopardy, even if your cause is something worth fighting for. Because as a leader, people hang on to your every word and they follow your every move.
You say run, they run. You say swim, they dive in. You say light a fire, they show up with oil. But whatever happens, it's on you.
Vander brings Violet to the bridge to remind her of where his feelings of anger and resentment against the people of Piltover led him. He lets her know that he understands how she feels, but the path that she's on would not resolve the tensions between Piltover and the Undercity. It would only increase them. It's a path that he knows all too well. Vander believes it's on him whatever happens to the people of the Undercity. That's why he made a deal with the captain of the enforcers that as long as he kept his people off the streets of Piltover, the Undercity would be left to their own business. But when Violet carries out an unsanctioned mission with her friends, the counselors of Piltover send the enforcers to investigate. The investigation leads Sheriff Grayson back to the Undercity, asking for the names of the people responsible. Despite knowing exactly who did it, Vander doesn't give her anything. He has decided not to endanger the lives of his own, especially not the kids whose parents he lost. The children are his responsibility now, and their presence is a constant reminder of the impact of his choices as a leader. While Vander struggles with this dilemma, civil unrest builds within the Undercity. The enforcers conduct searches for the 4 children sighted at the crime scene. They violate the Undercity's turf and its people in pursuit of this information. In this moment of unrest, the people look to Vander for a response, and he chooses to do nothing. Even when Vander himself was taunted by an enforcer, he doesn't attack. Instead, he keeps the peace. He doesn't want to do anything that the people of Piltover could use as an excuse to attack the Undercity. Vander's inaction was considered a weakness, and the people of the Undercity began to lose respect for him. He tries to make them understand that he's choosing not to fight to protect them, but all they see is a leader who has lost his grit, a man who would allow their people to be walked over and disrespected, a coward, too afraid to fight back because of what he might lose. Their loss of faith in Vander was accompanied by betrayal. If he would not lead them to attack the people of Piltover, they would follow someone who will. And now Vander finds himself at odds with the very city he's trying to protect. With his life and those of his children in danger, he finds himself fighting his own people to defend it. Even after being stabbed and left for dead, he takes the risk of turning himself into a monster to save the last of his children, an act that would cost him his very life. And as his life slips away from his body, he looks to Violet and says,
Take care about her.
perhaps here, with his final act and word in alignment, in the depths of the Undercity, he has somehow atoned for his past mistake by laying down his life for the very children whose parents he led to their death. Whether or not this is an act of atonement is not certain, but what we do know is that in the cold night lies Vander, the Hound of the Undercity, a man who was once respected by his people, betrayed, and left to die because he chose to care about their safety above any cause. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching the video. I would love to know what your thoughts are on Arcane as a series and on Vander as a leader and father figure to Violet and Powder. And if there's any other character you guys want to talk about, feel free to talk about them in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe or share with anyone who is a fan of the show or who you think might enjoy the video essay. Thank you so much, guys. I highly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.